What is up, Hybrid Beasts? Bob here with the Hybrid Beast program, and today we are going to talk about the Commando ear clap. Okay, so I started doing these videos, Tactical Thursdays, where I talk about like real street fighting situations or self-defense situations. Because remember, every fight on the street is a street fight, okay? So I got a comment on my last video where the guy asked about like the ear clap, okay? And the bottom line is a lot of people, not a lot of people talk about it these days. It was like really common in like, World War II combatives. A lot of people kind of alluded to it, kind of like GI combat kind of things, people alluded to it. I remember for some reason, I was thinking about this show, The Misfits of Science. It was an old show back in the 80s. And one of the people in this was this girl. And I remember there's this scene where like, this guy's picking her up and she just smacks her hands against his ears. And he's like, oh God, and drops her and like, oh my God, I can't believe this, you smacked my ears, okay? So let's go ahead and let's talk about like whether this is fact or fiction, okay? And it's interesting that I actually have personal experience with a Commando ear clap. Okay, when I created the concept of self-defense street fighting, what I was actually doing is, like I said, really curious about things I'd heard about. Like if I did not see something being used in an actual fight, or if I didn't use it myself, like I did not accept it as a true, technique. And one of the things that I had never actually seen being used and never used myself was the Commando ear clap. The way it basically works is like you're supposed to like cup your hand and smack in, and people talk about like capturing some air, and you smash the person's eardrum. Okay, now the problem with smashing the eardrum is it should hurt, okay, and also you have a lot of like equilibrium going on, like your balance is around in your ears. So the idea is, ouch, it hurts, ouch, my ears are ringing, I'm like disoriented, and also ouch, like, well, not necessarily ouch, but like I lose my balance now because you damaged my ear where the seat of my balance is. So now I'm off balance and you can easily beat me up. Okay, so that's basically what the Commando ear clap is. So long story short, I have a girlfriend. She's insane because, hey, I only date insane women. And one time, she smacked the shit out of me. Okay, one time she just lost her shit for no apparent reason. I legitimately did not do anything. Okay, she was like going through my phone, found a Facebook message from someone I had spoken to like a year before I met her, and got jealous because she knew the girl. So she goes ahead and she fucking rears up and smacks me in the side of the head. Okay, now my ear did ring. Okay, and that was it. It didn't hurt. I didn't vomit. My eyes didn't go black or anything like that. It's just, ouch, my ears are ringing. Okay, fine. The next day after this, I'm basically, like sometimes when you have to like regulate like the pressure in your ears or whatever, kind of like held my nose and blew, and it was like beep. Like I blew like, into my sinuses, and I could hear a whistle of air coming out of my ear. So I'm like, well, this is not a very good situation to be in. So I ended up going to, I was in Germany, went to an emergency room, and like, I was like, I just talked to a doctor. I just got a question real quick, and it just so happens that I was lucky because of two things. First of all, this, doctor was actually like, was an ear, nose, and throat doctor or whatever. Like he was legitimately like an ear doctor, an ear specialist that just happened to be the person working in the emergency room at the time. So that was a lucky thing. And another thing is he was just like an older guy who was like, kind of rough and tumble, and like he was just a cool guy. Like, he wasn't like some nerd, right? So he looks at my ear. He's like, yeah, I know your eardrum's perforated, bro. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. It's like, did you have like anything going on, like like an infection, or you stick something in there? I'm like, well, this chick smacks me in the ear. He's like, oh shit, well that's like a traumatic, wrist, tear in your ears. Like, oh yeah, that happens. I'm like, okay, cool. And of course, like I said, he was pretty cool about it. He's like, man, next time you do that, you gotta like bob and weave when she starts swinging at you. You don't just stand there. So anyway, we had this little conversation, and basically at the end of the day, he's like, he is an ear doctor. Like if it was worse, he would recommend, I think they called it cigarette paper. Basically, like they would patch it up and allow it to heal itself. But he's like, that should probably heal itself right now. Okay. So at the end of the day, this is, I guess, your answer, okay? Two things. Number one, yes, it is possible to shatter a person's eardrum or rip a person's eardrum by smacking with an open hand against the ear, okay? Now, the bad side about that is, although it's possible to do the damage, it didn't hurt so bad I couldn't, function. It didn't destroy my equilibrium, so I got dizzy and couldn't walk. It didn't make me vomit. It didn't do anything basically that, that put me out of commission. And when I talk about self-defense street fighting, I'm talking about things that are going to either completely destroy you or set you up so that you could be completely destroyed. Like in my last video about the headbutt, like either completely knock someone on his ass with one headbutt or kind of bump in from the side. So like you don't knock him out, but you close his eye and it swells shut so he can't see, so you have an advantage. Or like you rip open his eyebrow so blood goes into his eye, so you have an advantage. Like it either has to set you up so that you can be finished, or it has to finish you right there. That's all that I include in self-defense street fighting, like the curriculum. And like I said, this didn't do either. At the end of the day, it didn't hurt, it didn't destroy my balance, it didn't make me vomit, it didn't knock me out, it didn't do anything to me. So yes, you could damage an eardrum by that, but no, it's not an effective technique that's going to be a showstopper or even set you up for a show-stopping technique. So hope that's your answer. Because like I said, it's interesting. I actually was wondering about this for years because I heard about it, but I don't like to use techniques that I haven't actually, don't know work for sure. So here's my personal experience with the Commando ear clap and how effective it really is. Thank you very much for the question. I appreciate it. If you guys have any other questions for any video, specifically today, if you have any questions for Tactical Thursday, go ahead and post them down below and I'll talk about whatever technique or concept or situation for self-defense you want to talk about in future videos. But like I said, I appreciate the comment. Here's your answer. Subscribe if you guys haven't. Like the video if you like it. And I will see you guys in the next video.